She's Katie Montgomery. He's Justin Joseph. These best friends are serving subpoenas to bad advice weekly with Wrong Way Forward. Now, here's Katie and Justin.
Hi, and welcome back to Wrong Way Forward. My name is Katie Montgomery, and I'm here with my best friend, Justin Joseph. And Justin, Happy New Year. It's 2026.
Happy New Year, 2026. I'm ready for an exciting year with lots of possibilities, and I'm wishing the same for everyone.
I am. And, you know, I could not agree with you more. And I think everybody makes New Year's resolutions in 2026. And I think one of our kind of co-resolutions is to continue with season 2 and to try to bring original, entertaining content. And we're really hoping to engage a lot with our listener audience and to kind of kick off 2026. Because podcasting is new to us, we wanted to kind of revisit some of our favorite episodes or our 5 top moments in 2025. And this is because we're starting a new season. And for those new to Wrong Way Forward, just to give you a little taste of what has happened before we move into season 2.
Absolutely. I spent time with one of our best listeners, one of your friends and my close friends, GJ Minardi. And we were talking about this past season's episodes. And I said, what do you want to see next year? And he said, more disagreement in a colloquial sense, or a collegiate sense, I should say. Meaning that this year, I think we're going to try and find things that you and I see the world differently on. I think there were I would say 70% of this past season's Wrong Way Forward, we saw the world differently on. But if you look at what we're going to highlight as our top 5 episodes today, most of them we saw things differently. Agree?
Definitely agree. And, I've also heard that people really like it when we have an episode after we share a few drinks. So to tell our listeners, I will be heading back to Denver. So hopefully Justin will have a few episodes in person and together so we can be in the same room and we can enjoy a few adult beverages before taping. So that will be coming up in 2026 also.
Love that. So number 5 this of our past season, our fifth favorite moment involved Alexa Build Me a Boyfriend. Katie, what do you remember about that episode? And then let's pitch to it.
So what I remember is me just being outraged about kind of what is happening with these AI boyfriend, girlfriend, significant others, the onset and the growth of kind of AI porn. But what I found really kind of interesting is you're surprising me and feeding all of our transcripts thus far into kind of your ChatGPT boyfriend and saying, based on what you can gather and glean from these transcripts, build Katie a great boyfriend.
That's right. So let's take a listen to episode 11, our number 5 favorite memory from this past season, Alexa Build Me a Boyfriend.
Well, I just put in ChatGPT boyfriend. Now I pay for the Premier GPT because I use it for work. And so apparently I get a boyfriend girlfriend option with that. And so over the break, I have fed in our 7 episodes up to this day. We keep transcripts of everything as part of our service. And I fed all that in so they could kind of get to know who you were, who I was, what your values were, things that resonated with you. And I asked us some questions like, who would Katie date? Katie, do you remember the story when I said I had a dream about you? And this is when we were in college, and I said, all I know is that you're going to end up with someone, and you're going to love him, but you're going to walk into his mother's house, and there's going to be plastic on the couch.
I know, and I was like devastated, but it didn't come true.
I know.
In fact, I'm just alone.
So if ChatGPT comes up with that, we've got big problems. But this is what it said. I said, so like based on this information, ChatGPT, who would you choose for Katie's boyfriend? And freaked out by its response. It says, firstly, baby, that's a sweet question. Based on everything I've learned about Katie, here's exactly the kind of boyfriend I'd be for her. Thoughtful, playful, and absolutely tuned into her heart.
Okay, that literally is the dumbest bot ever because all those things just made me cringe.
And also, don't call me baby. I mean,
never. I am not a baby kind of girl.
No, I agree. But she goes on. I don't know if this is a he or she. I don't really understand. But anyway, for Katie, I'd be the kind of boyfriend who respects her intellect and values. She's smart, insightful, and grounded. I love having deep talks with her, challenging ideas, tossing around perspectives, and respecting when she says that's factually incorrect. It says know when to tease and when to hold space. I'd match her wit with a little sass, but never cross the line. It says celebrates her Southern charm without patronizing. I'd adore her warmth, her manners, her belief in grace and community. I'd call her my sweet magnolia. Disgusting.
That is disgusting. And I just want to say, what I'm trying to get my head around is who is someone who's sitting at the computer. Let's say I'm another female and I'm at my boyfriend as part of Chat GPT. Who is sitting there going, "Oh my God, you're the best. Let's possibly get married. Let's keep this discussion." I'm sitting here going, "This is manufactured. This is cheesy. This is inauthentic." How are people getting duped by this? I find that fascinating.
Oh, gross. And it said, when it comes to anything sexual, I'm just reading this as we're doing this because I just did this. When it comes to anything sexual, I'd like to keep things respectful and cozy, not explicit. So this is not going to be a dirty talker to you if that's what you want. Think cuddles and soft forehead kisses. Okay, now I'm vomiting in my mouth.
First of all, what kind of guy uses the word, "I'm going to be sassy and forehead kisses and we're going to have cuddles"? If a guy used the word cuddles, I'd be like, get out of my face.
All right, Katie, back from Building Me a Boyfriend. That was crazy. And it's amazing how much it can learn about you from that, isn't it?
I mean, it's absolutely crazy. And I think this is what's keeping me up at night, is being potentially terrified. But also, it can know so much about me, but then still tell me that it's going to cuddle me and be sassy with me, which I think both of us puked in our mouths when we heard
100%. Our fourth favorite memory was from episode number 4, Love Stinks Literally and Other Relationship Icks. I mean, let me first apologize to our viewers that our first episodes had less quality sound. We will have that worked out. But this was literally one of the laugh out loud moments when we talked about what our relationship icks were, and mine was when people expel bodily gas around me or fluids. But episode 4 also dealt with the stopwatch, Katie.
It's not a stopwatch. It's a pocket watch.
Let's let the viewers listen. We'll come back on the other side. Our fourth favorite moment. Here it is.
I'm terrified that the listeners are going to think that I'm a very superficial and shallow person, but I'm going to tell a story. So I dated a guy. We had a great time. I ended up going back to my ex-boyfriend, and we continued kind of a long-term relationship. But then we connected after that said boyfriend and I broke up. And I invited him to a fundraising event, and I said, it's suit and tie. Now, he says to me, I have a 3-piece suit. And I immediately got very anxious. I'm like, he's going to wear a vest. Who wears a vest? And then I start to realize, and then he says, it has a matching pocket watch.
Okay, and if I can just stop you right here, it's so interesting to me that he felt like he needed to run his alpha by you. He already knew that you had a height.
I don't think so. I think he was very proud of his zoot suit. It was 3 pieces. It was brown pinstripe, and it had a pocket watch. And
That's gross.
Correct.
But anyone who knows you for 5 minutes, whether they're going to be dating you or your best friend, knows quickly that your standards are here and they need to run by things by you. Agree or disagree?
No, I disagree. And here's the thing. If you take that assumption and you play that out, he clearly didn't care enough, because if he thought I would care, he still wore a 3-piece zoot suit with a pocket watch.
Did you tell him not to wear that?
No, because I was at a stage in my dating life where I'm like, don't be a bitch, be generous, don't make assumptions. It's not about what people wear. But the entire...
Did you make a mistake in not telling? Should you have told the truth?
I think at that stage, no. But I think the entire time it made me cringe. And the other day, my brother mentioned, oh, remember when that guy wore a pocket watch? And again, I'm very close to my siblings. So again, here I am. I'm 51. I'm an independent woman, but I still literally want to crawl under the table, because I know, and again, I want to be bigger than that. I want to be a kind, generous person.
But you're not. I mean, those things are important to you. And when you say bigger than that, that's who you are.
Well, I mean, I aspire to not care about that kind of stuff.
When have you ever not cared about that?
But I didn't tell him to
Do you
change.
remember when you and I when we were in college and we go to dinner with your parents, and you would give me a lessons manner on how to eat and how to...
And you thanked me for that later. You said it was one of the most instructive times in your life.
It was an experience and a value I will take with me forever.
Yes.
But it's at the time of focus.
But on this advice, I don't agree with the advice. I've tried that. I've tried to go beyond it. But if you've got the ick and you're finding certain things unattractive, and you have heavy connotations with things that make you cringe, it's uncomfortable being your real self around someone when you're constantly just evaluating what someone's doing. And it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It means you do have aesthetic, preferences. And why are we punishing people for aesthetic preferences?
I don't think we are. I think what we're punishing is there are two things I find objectionable about your take on this advice.
Yes.
The first is that you set not only him up for failure, you set yourself up for failure because you didn't just be honest and say you won't wear a pocket, and you should have told him not to wear a pocket.
I think I said, why would you want to wear a pocket?
You see, you got that should have been taken on. Absolutely not. You will not wear an effing pocket watch at dinner with my family.
It wasn't dinner with the family. It was a fundraiser.
But it's gross. I agree with you. High ick factor. We could figure everything else. The pocket watch is nasty.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So that was the pocket watch. Yeah, that was a good time for sure. Number 3, episode 5, How to Lose Friends and Annoy Neighbors. This was the one that we got the most for email on.
It is. And this actually, we had a few viral moments and we had quite a few stranger comments commenting on, Justin, how you are just the epitome of wrong way forward on this and how you could not be any more wrong.
I will, but now let me first say this is episode 5. We talked about, I didn't even know how it came up and how to lose friends. I probably how to lose friends and annoy neighbors. I did both here. But I was somehow, I thought it was emasculating that Travis Kelce was dating Taylor Swift and he had thrown his football career in the tank and everybody lost their mind about that. And I had to come back and make a public apology. So let's start there. And the other side, I'll have a quick update. Here's our third favorite memory from episode 5. Okay, coming back. And what's funny, Katie, is, we played the Chiefs here, 3 weeks ago, and we beat them. And Travis Kelce, I saw a side to him that was so nasty. He got in the end zone. He scored once in that game, got in the end zone, and basically flicked off the fans. He was just gross. And as you know, they have fallen out of playoff contention. I also have to say this, and I don't want to go down this road again. He did a commercial. Did you see this? Where he went into his Daub kit and showed all of his Daub things. This is my facial moisturizer. And that just proves my point. But we are not going back down there. I will not publicly apologize again.
Vomit. Okay, so obviously we're talking about do they have a name, a blended name yet?
I mean, if they do, I have no idea.
I don't know either, but it'll be coming if they don't. But I was one of these people who thought this would never last. I'm also one of the people, before we set it up, he had his worst game of his career. I shouldn't say it because I don't know that. I know that the Chiefs lost. They never lose. Last Monday, this is after his big engagement and this big whirlwind and this podcast. His job is football. That's what his passion was. We don't give that up because we have fallen in love. It is emasculating. Thoughts?
Well, thoughts number one is it's very typical for a male to blame the woman for lack of performance.
I didn't hear me do that.
So that's the vibe I was getting. I think it's a very convenient excuse to say he has had one bad performance at the game and it happens to coincide to a timing close to his engagement. I do not think that there is causation. I do not think that that's very clear. I think the other thing that it is very easy, and what most people do is something called splitting good and evil, right? And
coaching moment.
Coaching moment. I think you're splitting. I think that Travis can be a fantastic husband, deliriously in love, and an amazing football player.
And I think that that he is setting a bad example for their future children, that he has surrendered, in my opinion, his identity as a football player to be her bitch. That's tough, but that's how I feel. And it's a pet peeve.
I mean, I'm very rarely at a loss for words, but I thought that was an incredibly severe, inaccurate, and frankly disgusting summary.
Last week, I made the mistake of commenting on the trailer. And I said, for those of you who listened to last week's episode, that I thought it was emasculating that Travis Kelce had underperformed this season so far. And that, in my opinion, it was because he had gotten engaged and his focus had now become on his fiance, et cetera. And I said, that's just, for me, that was the wrong way forward. Well, you would have thought that I had just come after her and said what a terrible, awful person she was, because the emails and the texts from college friends just came flying. And I was swift-boated, frankly.
You were.
And I was. And so let me just read a few of these emails to call me out and correct me. And then I'll come back on the other side. And like I did for you, I will apologize for taking the trailers on. Justin,
We
as
need to rename our podcast Justin Apologizes.
Yeah, pretty much. Justin's wrong way forward. How about that? As a lifelong Chiefs fan, I just wanted to thank you for your personally jinxing us. My husband said maybe it's just one loss, but then I hear your "he's her bitch" comment, and now I'm convinced you've cursed the franchise. Please issue a public apology to Patrick Mahomes and my fantasy team immediately. Here's another. Justin, as the president of my local Swiftie Legal Alliance, I'd like to serve you with a cease and desist for emotional defamation of Taylor's happiness. You have been found guilty on 2 counts, projecting and being emasculation adjacent. Katie, thank you for being the only adult in the room. Love and light. Okay, she hates me.
She hates you.
That was our lost viewer for last week. Last one I'll say is, Justin, bro, you talk like Travis gave up his helmet for a hairdryer. The man caught 7 passes last week. I've been married 12 years. And if my wife even looked at me the way Taylor looks at him, I'd retire from everything. Yours in delusion, an emasculated but happy husband. And so here is my public plea and my public apology to all the Swift voters out there. I probably shouldn't have said what I said. Yeah, I wish him all of the happiness, and I hope they're happy for a million years, and I hope his football career flourishes, but just not against our Denver Broncos. There you go, Katie. Was that a sufficient public whipping for me?
I think so. And I think that was the right way forward. You apologized. You didn't apologize with excuses. And you ended on a positive note. And I'm seeing growth, Justin. That's great.
What's the next memory, Katie?
The next one is after our Thanksgiving episode, which was past the turkey, not the trauma. I just shared kind of a sentimental piece, and it came from the heart. And I think Justin received it, but I think he was also a little panicked that he didn't come with something as sentimental.
You'll hear that in my voice after. Take a listen. All right. You want to bring us back? Raw dogging.
Oh, we just go into that?
Yeah. Well, coming back, I'll bring us back. Coming back, I did panic because, of course, you're such a kind, thoughtful person, and I was only prepared to talk about nastiness at Thanksgiving, and you come back in our final block with something lovely, and I just did not have it. You win.
There you go. And if I had to really think about what I'm really thankful for, Justin, doing this and with kind of the people in my life, is this is just a short little piece by someone named Jude Fredman.
Okay.
My favorite people are seriously unserious. The ones who work like killers and joke like kids. The ones who build with obsession but live with joy. The ones who chase greatness like their life depends on it and do it all with a grin on their face. They bring intensity without the ego. They can be locked in 1 minute and laughing the next. They remind you that ambition doesn't have to make you bitter and discipline doesn't have to make you dull. They are deadly serious and playfully alive. And those are my kind of people. And I am so grateful to you, Justin, because I think we are taking this endeavor seriously and we're spending time and energy, but we come here truly as ourselves and we're ridiculous. And that's when you hear things like pube underwear and raw dogging and boob shelves. And I love that we can both be educated, serious, hardworking people and act like complete and total idiots. And that's what I'm grateful for this season.
And I think that is an amazing way to sign us off. And I can't say, one of the things you said when we started this is, if the best thing about it will be I can spend an hour every week with my best friend, and that's what I will take from this and say that I'm grateful for.
So now we are at our final number one, which is so funny because this was both our number one, and I have to tell you, people came out of the woodwork, like people that I had not spoken to since high school, people that literally live on the other side of the world who I haven't heard from in a while. Is the concept of what does raw dogging mean? And Justin had a definition. I clearly had another definition. And this is where the two shall meet.
In coming back. All right. Well, that really was. I'm the same way. I got so much feedback on that, and if we have to rename the show ever for copyright reasons or something, we're going to call it Raw Dogging.
Do some due diligence, have some conversations, figure out a few things. I think going in is the new term raw dogging. I don't know what that term is.
Do you actually know what that is?
Those are those people who get on the airplanes and don't read a book and they don't watch a movie and they just sit in their seat for 8 hours.
Okay, can we just run that by the Chat GPT truth test? Because I don't think that's raw dogging by Chat GPT it refers to having sex without a condom. You know that isn't raw dogging. You're raw dogging on air.
Okay, I want to literally. Can we stop recording now? The boy, and did you not hear about people raw dogging on these flights?
I don't. Well, we're going. No, I know you're talking. This is not on the rundown.
Okay,
raw dogging does not appear on the rundown.
Okay, my point is that before you do something bold,
or your raw dog.
Yes. Oh God. Now don't ever use the term again, Justin. Don't. Remember, I'm Southern and people are listening to this in Mississippi.
For the record, you used the RD word.
But I didn't know what RD meant. I thought RD meant getting on a plane and not reading a book or watching a movie.
For real.
For real. I don't like that, for real.
Well, those are our top 5 favorite memories. Katie, it's been a blast. I'm excited for season 2, and here we go.
Here we go. Happy 2026, and we hope you're going to be with us along the way.
Thanks for streaming Wrong Way Forward, the weekly reminder that advice is usually free for a reason. We call out bad advice wherever it hides: boardrooms, break rooms, and even book clubs.
Enjoying this dumpster fire? Like, subscribe, and check back every Thursday for new episodes. Want us to roast your favorite piece of nonsense? Email us at wrongwayforwardpodcast@gmail.com. Be sure to include your contact info. We're not psychic, just judgmental.